good, YouTube? It is your boy DK back with another video, and today we are going to be reacting to some llama art short films. And today I hope it's very interesting because this is only my second time doing this, and I enjoyed these videos, and I think it's fun. Might be starting to come back to my reaction channel, so I hope you guys stay tuned. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy DK Supreme back with another video, and today I'm reacting to a few llama art stories. I'm back on my reaction. Like always, sorry I'm too close to the mic. Entity, I don't know how to pronounce that. Forgive me for all that. But yeah, we're gonna get into this. This is another episode of Wicked Wednesday reaction. I think I just might stick to reacting. I think I might be good at it.
A cool breeze crept through the valley outside of Telluride, Colorado, as my friends and I unloaded the truck parked on the dirt driveway. We had recently started renting an old mining house built in the early 1900s. Most of the home had been renovated over the years, but there were still glimpses of what the house used to be. The exterior of the home was painted a bright yellow and adorned a blood-red door. The yard was abundant with lush green grass, minus the few brown patches that littered the ground. In the corner of the yard
Turn audio
sat a
down.
dilapidated gazebo filled to the brim with landscaping equipment. I stood facing the house, admiring the quaint ambiance it seemed to exude. I felt something hit my back and spun around. My brother, William, was standing behind me with a box under his right arm. "Let's pick up the pace, we don't have all day," he said, with a little annoyance masked in his voice. Yeah, I responded, and started walking to the back of the truck. My other two friends, Elijah and Leon, were in the process of stacking some boxes.
Hold on, I think it's echoing.
"Hey
Okay.
man, take
This
this
way
to my
better.
room," Elijah said, as he handed me a large box. I resituated it in my arms and gripped it. As I did so, I could hear glass clanging inside, and a strong, familiar odor starting to leak out. "Hey man, be careful," Elijah
He's so
snapped.
calm with it. Be careful.
"If you ever want to smoke again, I'd highly advise you to take it one step at a time there, champ."
Oh my
"Maybe
god.
if you didn't throw everything into one single box without bubble wrap, then you wouldn't have an issue of something breaking, Elijah," Leon responded.
Telling Leon.
Elijah's eyes widened, as if he had just figured out the secrets of the universe. I laughed,
Nigga
turned
slow.
around, and proceeded into the house.
No disrespect, bro. I ain't mean it like
The
that.
floorboards creaked as I stepped onto the warped living room floor.
I ain't trying to
surveyed
crash
my
out early, bro. It
surroundings of
just
the old
started.
rustic home as I headed to Elijah's bedroom. Only 2 interior rooms had been renovated in the entire house.
Damn.
One being the kitchen, which had marble countertops and new appliances.
Mm.
The other being my room. I was the one who found the home.
Yeah, this
on the
is
market,
Inhuman
so
Entity.
respectively,
It says
I
it at the
had
bottom.
first choice of
I
which
mean,
room I wanted to
you know,
claim
I'm
as my
probably
own. The other
late
rooms,
on it.
the other hand, were
But
still
I
the
did
same as they had
already
been
said
since
that,
the
so
early 1900s, with dreary
just full
wood
warning.
floorboards
I know people
and
be
old
skipping.
chipping paint. "Dude, what the hell?" William yelled from upstairs.
Where that
I
nigga
quickly
come
climbed
from?
the narrow stairway to find my brother in his room. I walked in to find what looked like to be a large lump underneath the wooden floorboards.
I don't really play games. Y'all see, I don't back down from
It almost looked like Andre the Giant was buried in the middle of the room. "I told you it was an old home, Will.
They capping in
Things
this
shift
shit,
over
bruh.
I said, trying to hold my snickering back. "Yeah, I get that, but you didn't say that I'd have to maneuver around a speed bump," he snapped back. I took a deep sigh and turned to him. "Okay, look man, we're only gonna be here for a year. You've got plenty of room to put your bed so you're not sleeping on an incline." William turned back to the floor dejected. "That's easy for you to say. You're not staying on the cover of Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones."
First of all, that nigga like, hell nah. You is not about to have me sleeping in this room. And if I was him, I can't blame him for that. Like, you, no. I'm not sleeping on no floor. Messed up. Alright, anyway, back to it.
After we had moved everything into the house,
That shit crazy.
we all plopped down on the couch, beers in hand, and began our
What
well-deserved
about the
R&R.
other? Bro, they They got.
Elijah had already begun smoking.
I don't even know if
and the room started to fill with the pungent odor. So are we gonna be doing some ghost hunting tonight, boys? Elijah
Nigga
said,
Fry
as he
doing
passed
crazy.
the
I'll be
joint to
doing
Leon.
that too. I can't.
Oh, come on. You don't actually believe that crap, do you? Leon responded as he was rolling his eyes.
But I don't be doing that
blew
stupid
his
stuff.
brains out on the front porch in
I
the
use that for
1930s.
medical
I'd be
purposes.
surprised if there wasn't a ghost floating through the halls. I mean, how do you think we got such a killer deal on rent? William said as he lifted his arms and started mimicking the sounds of a specter. Shut up. It's all nonsense. You've just been watching
I think
too
that
much
nigga named
Ghost
Liam
Hunters,
with
I responded.
the green shirt on, I think.
Anyway,
Yeah, I think that's William.
We need to get up early to do some cleaning.
He like, hell no, you
Night,
ain't about to
guys.
play with me like that.
I stood up and meandered to my room.
He said,
all
nigga, cause I'm
reality,
black
I
don't
was
mean
a
I'm
little perturbed
scared.
by what happened
Like, I
at this
feel him on
house.
that though. Don't
I've
cancel
always
me.
been quite agnostic to my beliefs of ghosts or spirits.
I'm biracial.
But I've never witnessed anything myself. The rent was super
Not that
cheap
you asked,
for an
but
entire house, and I wanted to save
ain't
some
canceling
money
me
for
over
a
that
trip
shit.
outside of the country. I pushed the fact that someone had ended their life to the back of my mind. I wish things would have turned out much differently. I entered my room and slid under my sheets and basked in the warmth of my bed. It had been a long day and my body ached from moving. I grabbed my phone and looked for a rain and thunder YouTube video to help me sleep.
I be doing that
After
sometimes.
about 15 minutes, I crept into comfortable darkness. My eyes shot open in the middle of the night. The moonlight shone through my window and enveloped my room in comforting light. I could hear creaking from the house as the wind howled outside.
No, sir,
I tried
bro.
to sit up, but found my efforts futile. Sleep
Whoa.
paralysis was a regular occurrence in my life. It happened at least once a month due to stress
I was just
and a little
about
help
to
from my
mention.
antidepressants. At this point, I'd almost
I was just about to mention that.
eyes darted from left to right, trying to decipher where the noise was coming from. It was then I started to hear skittering, like someone or something was moving around. A cold feeling crept over my body.
I thought that nigga
as
got
I
a
started
cramp.
sweating profusely, my sheets becoming soaked. The skittering stopped, but was replaced by cracking, one that resembled that of broken
Sorry, y'all, I
bone.
got my fan on.
Out of my peripheral vision, I could see long, needle-like limbs protruding from my closet.
No, sir.
They each moved
No,
slowly,
sir.
tapping the wall as if they were looking for something. I then saw a large, bulbous black mass starting to show itself from the closet door. It was coated in tiny hairs and twitched almost
It's a big ass spider, bro.
A loud moan echoed throughout my room as the creature
Nigga watching
finally
that.
presented itself.
That stuff.
A spider-like entity was situated on my wall. The reason I say spider-like was because its head had been replaced with that of a human one. Its eyes were blacked out from the shadows of moonlight, and its lower jaw was removed, revealing a blotchy tongue that oozed saliva.
Come on,
It
dude.
was about the size of a twin bed and stared at me for what seemed like hours. My heart was racing. I was begging my body to move, but to no avail. I was stuck there, in suspended torment. I tried screaming, but I was unable to make a sound.
Damn.
All I could do was watch the creature on my
I
wall
feel that
as it
pain,
grew
bro.
closer. Suddenly, it skittered to the ceiling right above me and started scratching with its two front legs, almost like it was burrowing. It then started to sink into the wall, as if the wall had turned into quicksand. First, the abdomen, then the legs. Eventually, all that was left was its mangled head staring straight at me. Those cold, dead eyes boring into my soul. I could hear it
Spitting on him,
moaning,
bro.
and I could feel the drips of saliva hit my torso. The creature then let out an inhuman roar and vanished into my ceiling. My body was finally released, and I jolted out of my bed screaming. As I did, the house erupted into more terrified outcries coming from upstairs.
I'm surprised they ain't go in
I
your
wasn't the
room.
only one who saw something. And, unfortunately, it wouldn't be the last time, either.
I saw that nigga move, bro. Wow, bro. Next video. This one's called
We live on
Playhouse.
several acres in rural Indiana, USA. Our neighbors aren't too far apart, but we all live on a lot of property. On our properties, we have a lot of trees, and our neighbor doesn't maintain their property well, so a lot of it's overgrown.
I feel that.
A couple of fallen trees and a lot of downed branches. We knew the state of their property was probably because it was an older couple that owned the house and the property was vast. We have a creek separating our homes as well, but a small strip of their property is accessible from our backyard. Due to the overgrowth in trees, we weren't able to see much of their property when we first moved in the summer. And of course, we didn't go onto their land because we didn't want to trespass. One night, my daughter and her friend were camping in the backyard and ran inside, swearing that they heard a kid laughing or crying in our backyard.
Eat a tree from. Did you eat? I'ma ask you again. Did
I
you eat?
figured it was their imagination from too many scary stories while in the tent, but went out to investigate briefly just in case. I heard a faint noise coming from just beyond our property line. I moved the flashlight into the general direction and called out to whoever may be in the trees. The sound stopped. I decided it was probably
Ain't no way it got that quiet.
Cats, but just in case, I had the girls set up the tent in the living room. The next day, after taking my daughter's friend home, curiosity got the best of me, and I decided to investigate the area by our property line. As I neared the line of trees, I saw a small path I had never noticed before. Since I knew my neighbors were too far and the trees were too thick, they couldn't see me on their property, so I stepped onto the small path. I walked slowly, looking down, watching for poison ivy and fallen branches. I wasn't too far in when I saw a dirty, broken kid's toy on the ground, wrapped in overgrown weeds. I looked up, and in the distance I saw a small, white shed-like structure. As I got closer, there were more and more toys scattered on the ground, some partially buried, all broken and dirty. Then there was barbed wire, and I could see the front of the shed and realized it was a large playhouse with a wooden alphabet decorating the outside. I was starting to feel uneasy. This playhouse was at least half a mile or more from the only house on the property. I stopped in my tracks, letting my imagination go a little, when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I must have jumped a foot off the ground, only to turn around and see that my daughter had followed me. Once my heart slowed down, I decided to get a closer look. There was more broken barbed wire fencing on the ground the closer we got. The window on the side was broken, and there was a hole in the roof. There was a broken train set, one a kid would be able to ride on. The front door had a white piece of wood set to lock someone in, not keep people out. At this point, my daughter was in full panic mode and begging for us to walk back to our house, but I had to at least look through the window, or my mind would wander with all the possibilities of what could be in there. As I was stepping to the side of the shed, my daughter was following close behind. In her fear, she was paying more attention to me than where she was stepping, and she cut her leg pretty deep on some barbed wire that was hidden in overgrowth. I quickly glanced inside the window, only to see a partially dirt floor and broken wood, and a large wooden bench with a dark stain on top. I picked up my daughter, who was determined her leg was going to fall off. We left the neighbor's property, and I took her to the doctor to get a tetanus shot and get her cleaned up. That night after dinner, I let the dog out, but couldn't get her to come back in. I let her stay outside for a while and checked again a little later. Our dog still wouldn't come in, and I noticed she was standing by the path we took earlier.
She looked scared.
I grabbed a flashlight and her leash and headed out to her. She was pacing, whining, and sniffing around everywhere. I figured it was from the blood earlier, but she never ventured onto the path. Then, I heard the giggling of a little girl. I called out to the child, but there was no answer in return, just some rustling in the leaves.
I hate ads.
She was still in the house. She was laying in bed.
Why you leave your daughter there alone?
The next morning, I went straight to the playhouse. But as I was approaching, something was wrong. The broken toys seemed to be in different places, and when I got to the playhouse, my heart felt like it was a ton of bricks. All over the side of the playhouse were children's drawings, in my daughter's blood.
Yeah, this one gotta be good. Disturbing Vacation Story 3. Where the first one?
It was a summer ago. My family and I had gone to a cabin that most would use for a winter vacation, but my family wasn't like that. The cabin was located in the middle of the forest. There was no cell phone service, so, as you can imagine, I was pissed. My mom always complained to me about being isolated and confined to the comforts of my phone. I always found solace in my phone, since being around people made me feel irrational and just plain weird. My parents never understood that. Anyway, my little sister is 6 years old and was playing around in the forest. She had gone a bit too far out of my sight, and I started to get a little worried. I called out her name, but got no response.
Oh my
I then
God.
went in the direction that she did and found nothing but a bloody bow. My eyes widened as I frantically ran around looking for her. I found a blood trail that led into the deeper parts of the forest. I hesitated, but nothing was going to stop me from saving my sister.
Period.
I followed the
It's a
trail for
hole?
as far as it went. After about an hour, the blood stopped at a hole. I debated whether I should go back and tell my parents, but I didn't think they'd believe me, even if I did say that my sister was missing. There's no denying my parents thought I was insane. Despite my fear, I jumped into the hole. I fell for what felt like forever. Then, I finally hit water. My face morphed into disgust as I stumbled through what I thought was a sewer, since there was no light. I looked up out of the hole and saw a tiny white dot. I started to walk around. There was crunching under my feet. I paid no attention to it since I thought it was some dead leaves or sticks that had fallen into the sewer.
Yeah.
That was until I fell. Some unknown liquid had splashed all over me. I remembered that my phone was in my back pocket,
Yeah,
and I
it's done.
pulled it out and shined it on myself. Time seemed to slow down as I realized what I was walking in. It was a river of fresh blood. The blood had absolutely soaked me. I held in a scream as to not alert any nearby creatures. I then ran through the connection of tunnels and refused to stop until I started hearing footsteps behind me. I stopped, turned around, and shined my flashlight around. The light from my phone landed on a distant figure. It looked so small, so maybe it was a dog or an alligator that had sneaked in. I stupidly started to move towards it, and as I got closer, the figure started to get clearer. I started to see that it wasn't a dog or an alligator. As soon as I realized this, I stopped in my tracks and stared. It looked like me.
What is that?
Its body was contorted. Their back faced towards the ground, and its head was turned right side up, faced towards me. Its legs were normal, but its arms
I was
were
gonna
nice
say
as
that
well.
better be his leg.
It had jagged teeth and was chewing on what was left of my sister's head.
Oh my
Then,
God.
I saw my parents' head beside it. I stepped back in shock and fear.
Nah, I
The
feel like
beast
he's
of
sleeping
myself
right now.
charged towards me. In a state of panic, I tried to run away, but I slipped. I hit my head on the rock.
Yeah. Ooh, you dead.
Passed out.
I'm assuming he's the detective. Ain't nobody there. Oh, they all dismembered, bro. And now they gotta create a story? Nah, he's asleep. Nah. Will that be the end of the video? If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you are new, hit the notification bell so you don't miss another video. And if you guys want more, you know, I'm just now starting this, so I'm gonna say 10 likes. Yeah, welcome to the DK family. We just react, play games, and enjoy life. So if you guys enjoyed this, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.